Podtacular 347 Maps of Majesty for the week of February 21st, 2013.
Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I'm your host, Duststorm.
And I'm your other host, Brent Gamer.
And we are back with some more bulletin goodness with a little bit extra this week. As you guys may have heard, the Majesty map pack is inbound, so close to our fingertips, as well as the title update. We have so many good things coming out over the next week that it's going to be hard to kind of keep all of our excitement in, I think. We're really looking forward to the title update. I think everyone is looking for some piece of title update in here, and it's a big one. They dumped a lot of details for the title update, and we're getting some pretty juicy details about the Majesty map pack, which is looking to be very, very cool. I'm liking what I'm seeing. What do you think of all the news for this next week, Brent?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the Majesty map pack. I'm excited about the title update. Just it's a good time to be a Halo 4 fan, you know.
Indeed.
I think a lot of people have given up on Halo 4. I know of a lot of gamers that said they just weren't interested because of the gameplay, and seeing 343 take steps to improve the game with the title update and now the map pack, it's a good time to try and get back into Halo 4 if you've given up on it recently.
Right. And it seems like this title update is a lot more kind of visual in terms of what it's actually changing. I know for a lot of previous title updates, it was more just like bug fixes and little things behind the scenes, but something like changing the range of the bolt shot, for instance. That's a pretty big change for a title update, and it kind of compares to what they did for the TU update for Reach, although it wasn't exactly a TU because the old settings were still there, and they had the TU settings, and it was all cluster whatever. So I think for this one, though, it's a TU update it's a TU that everyone is really looking forward to. I think it's the one that's going to take in people's minds Halo 4 out of the quote-unquote beta phase and hopefully more into somewhat of a final product that everyone's kind of content with. Granted, there's still some things I think they haven't changed yet, and hopefully we get to see those changes in the future title update, or maybe it'll have to be an improvement that we wait till Halo 5 to actually see. But I think this title update is the one that everyone has been wanting for some time now.
Yeah, there's some stuff in there that doesn't seem very important, but if you think more about it, it's actually very important as far as just changing what's happening to the gameplay. There's probably things that people wanted to change in the title update that they're not going to get, and I just hope that they weren't anticipating those things too much, set themselves up for disappointment.
Right.
But, was there anything, we'll get to the title update in a while, but was there anything just off the top of your head that you didn't see in this list that maybe you would have wanted to see?
So I think a lot of people really want the race custom game type. I think I'm one of those people that really want the race game type back, and I know a lot of other people want the race game type back as well. That's one of the things that is not included in this update that I think a lot of people are going to miss. I'd have to think a little bit harder, but that's definitely kind of one of the things that sticks out in my mind. This is whether or not they can actually implement it with how they have the game design, but theater mode for campaign and Spartan Ops, I doubt it's something they can implement, but with playing the last episode of Spartan Ops this last week and having some of the moments in there, not being able to go back and record it, it's just like, oh, I wish I could go get a different angle of what I just did.
Yeah, I want to start taking some screenshots. There's some cool scenes in there that are just like screaming to be the wallpaper on my computer.
I know, and it would make, oh my goodness, make for some probably good posters as well. Because you have a lot, and the thing about the campaign and the Spartan Ops is you don't get the screenshots with all the Covenant enemies, where you definitely could do that with Halo 3 and you could do it with Halo Reach, but now it's you just lost the whole realm of screenshots with Halo 4, and it's kind of unfortunate because the game is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a slap in the face to the campaign designers in a way, because screenshots were always a great way to kind of show off what was awesome looking on their maps, the campaign maps.
Yeah. And for Halo 3, what was the service called where you could actually take your screenshots and get them poster printed?
Yeah, I don't remember what
There's
the
a
service
service
was called. Yeah.
that Bungie partnered up with. I never used it, but I know quite a few people used it, and I think they used some of it during Halo Fest. But you could get 24 by 36 prints of your screenshots, and I think the price was pretty reasonable. I think it was maybe $15 per poster, which is not bad for a poster that size. But for Halo 5, hopefully we see those kind of features implemented back into the game. And I have a feeling, because this is Halo 4 and this is just the starting ground for 343 really getting into game producing, I think we'll see a lot of the features that have been in past Halo games, like Halo 3's file share from the get-go, the theater and campaign and theater, well, depends if Spartan Ops is in Halo 5. I would imagine so, because personally, I'm a big fan of Spartan Ops. We do our Spartan Ops podcast with Halo Fan for Life, and he's gotten very good feedback from the podcast that we've done with him, and I have my document that I've been working on for a full summary of the Spartan Ops experience. So it's one of those pieces of the game that I think it was a great replacement for Firefight, and it's a lot of fun to play, and it just keeps developing the storyline of the campaign, so it's just not a hard stop. It keeps going. And from hearing the rumors going around, well, from what I can hear of there was a tweet or something else that David Ellis, and we've actually mentioned this on the last show, but from what it sounds like, they could be doing it or working on season 2 already. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're still waiting for community feedback on it or what, but I would like to see a second season.
Yeah, and I think that's coming. I mean, I think they planned for Spartan Ops to be popular, but I'm not sure they understood how successful it would be ultimately, because it's pretty much the favorite mode on Halo 4. If you just try to get a general consensus on what did people enjoy most from Halo 4, like the new experience, Spartan Ops, people enjoy it. I mean, I love it. It just goes to show that people really do care about the Halo universe, and they want to be in more stories in that universe, as opposed to just the old philosophy, which was, we're going to keep all that in campaign, and we're not going to give you much story anyway, because Bungie was much more reserved with the storyline stuff. But they separated it from the multiplayer experience that you'd usually get, just matchmaking. So I'm just glad that 343 knows that people want to see more out of the Halo story, and this is a way to deliver that.
Right. So we're not going to be talking about too much Mythic here, other than what's covered in the bulletin. We're going to focus on that stuff in another show that we're going to do this weekend when all the coverage has come out. There's videos that have been lined up. Actually, the one that has come out today is the overview of Landfall, one of the new Majestic maps. So we're going to save most of that conversation for a podcast that's going to come out either Saturday or Sunday this weekend, and we're just going to focus on the bulletin today.
Yep.
Let's see. So let's dive right into it, shall we? On the first topic of discussion is obviously the schedule of information that they're going to be releasing for the Majestic map pack. On Tuesday, we had some screenshots come out, and there was a Making Halo 4 Majestic map pack video where we see figures like Kynan Pearson, Kevin Franklin, Bravo, talk about the inspiration behind the maps, kind of the art design. And there's a few other people that I haven't seen before, so I mean, not to belittle them or anything, but I know Kynan Pearson, Kevin Franklin, and Bravo, so those are just the names that I recognize. But they have a few more of the art developers on there, kind of discussing the ties between the art team and the design team on how they develop the maps. And one interesting thing in the video is that if you notice, Bravo is an associate producer for multiplayer. So he's already kind of rocking the big guns there at 343 since his move over there.
Yep.
So way to go, Andy. You're doing us
Good job.
proud. We gotta get him back on the show sometime soon.
Yeah, we do.
But anyways, the schedule going forward from that is on Wednesday, there's the bulletin, of course, which we're covering now. Thursday, which is today, they released the full achievement list, and they had their Welcome to Landfall video. On Friday, they're going to have Welcome to Monolith. On Saturday, they're going to have Welcome to Skyline. And then on Sunday, they're going to be doing a live stream from the studios playing the Majestic map pack. And then the day afterwards, the 25th, on Monday, that's when the maps are going to be put out to everyone to play.
Yes, so you'll get to watch it before you play it. Exactly one day before you play it.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just one day. So it's not a bad thing at all. But we'll cover all that stuff in great detail on our Saturday, Sunday show. And hopefully you guys will tune in for that one. If you have not purchased one of the Wargames map passes, or if you did not get the Halo 4 Limited Edition, the map pack is going to cost you 800 Microsoft points. That's $10. And if you haven't heard already, most of these maps are kind of small based team maps, so a lot of 4v4s, a lot of free-for-all, and that's kind of reflected in the matchmaking update that we're going to see here in a couple spaces down. There are some screenshots, some concept arts following the announcement of the schedule and the pricing and all that good stuff. Definitely check them out. They're the bigger screenshots of the kind of thumbnails that we got all the way back in November when we had those first. Remember, I don't remember if it was like the week before Halo 4 or the week it released, but they had that list of, okay, these are the 3 map packs that we're going to be releasing, and then here are some concept arts. So those concept arts are now available in high-resolution download that you can post as a wallpaper on your desktop or phone or whatever. And then they kind of have the side comparison on a couple of them of what it actually looks like in-game. So the concept art's really pretty, but the environments are just jaw-dropping. I think this is going to be one of the more visually aesthetic and visually pleasing map packs.
Yeah, I still have a problem with the dissonance between what you see in the concept art and the finished product, and I'll talk about that later. It's not really important right now, but it's just something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as the maps go, my favorite so far, I want to say, is Skyline.
Yeah, that's my favorite too.
It's
I kind of like the thematics of it.
Yeah, the cityscape, the architecture, and the colors and everything just looks great. If I had to pick a least favorite, which is hard to do because all these maps look really, really awesome and I want to play them right now, probably I would put Landfall on the bottom of the list in terms of least favorite. Because Monolith is in outer space and it just looks cool. It's kind of that small, symmetrical, actually kind of quad symmetrical, very similar to Wizard, Warlock, and all those small maps, it's really cool. And it's in outer space. So, no, space. No, Brent, no space.
Nope.
Space.
Space. I got tired of space and orbital. Like, that was when I said nope.
Oh, really?
Nope. Yep.
Orbital was one of those maps where it's kind of hit or miss, depending on what you really, if you really enjoyed it, or if you really disliked it, because a lot of it was CTF, and with how the level was designed, and with the door controls and everything, it was just a matter of trying to figure out what route you were going to take, and there was always a rush for the rockets, and then there was the few that went underneath the level, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I actually really liked Orbital. I liked the thought of having the map in outer space and the playstyle they had. It made for some interesting customs. I think that's kind of where it really shined instead of matchmaking, but Orbital was a good custom map in my opinion.
I guess that's why I never really enjoyed it, because I didn't play that many customs.
Which
on
is
any
understandable.
of like the new maps.
Yeah. All right. So the next section that we have in the bulletin is section 3. This is going back to the whole glyphs thing for the terminal. I'm still not sure where to get all this information. This is kind of some of the puzzle stuff that I'm not particularly good at. But you can, it says you can find some pieces of it in certain areas. Like I've read through it and I'm not smart enough to really crack the puzzle, I guess. What do you think of all the section 3 stuff?
I really don't get into it. I mean, it's like most of the ARG stuff. I try to keep up with it, but I never actually try to solve anything.
Yeah. Like the Destiny ARG.
Yeah. Like, I didn't solve any of that. I helped out, I think, just by showing up, but...
Yeah. I was surprised on how quickly people were able to generate scripts that automatically parse that stuff.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, people out there are obsessed with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They love working.
Definitely.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, people like it. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's the point of an ARG. But I'm not smart enough for any of it.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
The only things I can pull from the one that we got last week and the one from this week is there's going to be some symbols in Silentium, the book that's coming out on the 19th of March. That's going to be used to get this terminal code. And from the last week, they seem to hint that there was already 2 floating around out there to make this full 10 set. So they're definitely using the terminal from... They brought it out in what, Halo... They just brought it for a Halo anniversary, and then they used it for Halo Reach for getting the extra credits, and now they're using it for Halo 4 to get some armor unlocks, to get some screenshots, but we haven't really seen anything substantial other than doing it for XP and those extra little tidbits. It seems really underplayed in here than it was for getting the extra experience in Reach, and then, of course, using it in Halo Anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure what I would do with something like that, to be honest. I mean, what would you do with a terminal thing other than grant experience points? I would hope that you would be able to provide some kind of like
avatar items, like an avatar.
I don't know
prop.
about avatar. Well, yeah, that would be something cool, but maybe just little extra tidbits into the universe.
Yeah, just things that you wouldn't know unless you figure out the puzzle. But the problem is, once one person figures it out, like, nobody else has to finish the puzzle. That's the problem, and I will never be first to finish any of these puzzles.
That is true. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as it comes up. I'm sure we'll have these section 3s throughout the rest of the bulletins until the book gets released. So yeah. I'll ping some more lore hardened folk and see if they have an idea of what this is going to be for. I think this is just something that's going to be, we need to wait until the book comes out and see what it has to offer in terms of providing the keys to this code. But until then, we're just going to kind of keep that on the back burner and move into the matchmaking playlist update for the week. For Spartan Ops, if you guys remember during the time off between episode 5 and 6, they had a designer's choice mission. So David Ellis and Greg Murphy have put together some of their favorite Spartan Ops mission that's going to be available in matchmaking. And those are going to be Episode 3, Mission 4, Shootout in Valhalla. Episode 10, Mission 3, Seize the Power. Episode 10, Mission 5, One Last Time. Episode 4, Mission 3, Random Transport. Episode 5, Mission 4, The Cauldron Base. So if you guys don't exactly remember what those are, the Shootout in Valhalla is the one with the mantises.
People love that one.
Yeah,
I think that's the number one mission out of the entire season.
I think that's kind of why it's up in the top list there.
Personally, I like Seize the Power better, but people love Mantis. They do.
Yeah, so Seize the Power is the one from this week's episode, the last episode of Spartan Ops, and it's the one where you're fighting under the Lish, waiting for it to kind of drop down, and there's a back room where you have to fight Prometheans. It's the same level that the Rooster Teeth Easter egg is on.
Yeah.
So that one is the second one up there. One last time, it's the very last mission. It's the one where you're back with the what's the Covenant Digger called? Harvester.
The Harvester.
It's the one with the Harvester, and it has the weird gravity fluctuations. I guess this is kind of a spoiler territory. If you haven't played the episode yet, I don't think I've given too much away, other than the gravity shifting stuff.
Yeah, the gravity shift was my favorite part of the episode, I think.
That was weird. That was really, really weird. It's like, oh, okay. Because I was playing with Sal, and he's like, oh, it's going to get more interesting. And I'm like, okay. And then you see that it's like everything's happening with the gravity messing up. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. But no, I didn't spoil anything story related, so I'm
it's
safe
just
there.
a tiny event that happens. We're being real vague about it anyway.
If you've played the 10th episode, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was an homage to lag or standby in matchmaking. Really. Because I'm like, wow, I remember this in Halo 2. Just, shooting up through the air for no reason. And then it says connecting to new host. I love that. But,
yeah. The next one is episode 4, mission 3, random transport. This is the one where you're chasing Jewel and you get dropped down to the Arctic base area. It's the one right after you jump through from Ragnarok into the portal that's above the canyon base. And you get dropped down right into the middle of Covenant, and it's just a big firefight all the way through. So that's that one. And then Cauldron Base is where episode 5, mission 4, where you're... which one was this? It's the generator defense one.
Yep.
It's the one where you start off in the lava flows. If you have 2 players, it's the 2 mantis that spawn there, and if you have 3 or 4, then it's warthogs, and it's the big generator defense one, and it's the same one where you find Spartan Thorn's IFF tag.
Yeah, that one was popular because you could get the Wheelman medal fairly easily on it. Just park there with someone on your turret.
Oh, I didn't even think that you could do that.
Yeah. What do you get if you complete that? Commendation for Wheelman, it's like an armor set or something.
Yeah, I haven't really bothered about all the armors too much to really research into it. Green Skull would be the one to really talk about it because he was the one trying to unlock all the armor pieces so he could get his green unicorn, green visor, and all that stuff. Yeah. I haven't paid too much to the armor sets that get unlocked via the commendations. Granted, the commendations are something I would like to get and try to unlock everything, but it's just one of those where if I get the commendation, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it or try to grind it out.
Yeah.
That's what I hate because I'm obsessive about it. I always want to grind out the enemy commendations when I start playing Spartan Ops. To the point where it's not even fun anymore because I'm just killing hunters over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well,
and you have to kill a lot of hunters to master that.
Oh, yeah. I think the secret to doing that is doing it with friends and doing it on a lower difficulty other than Legendary. Unless you're really there just to... If you really want the challenge and if you're really good at the game, which there's a good few people that are out there, then do it on Legendary. It's just... I find doing it on... If you're going for commendations, normal is good. It's good enough in most cases to where it's still somewhat enjoyable and you can get through it quickly and get all the kills you need to. Heroic, I think, is the sweet spot for Spartan Ops if you have a full party of 4. Normal is definitely what you want to go with if you have a party of 1 or 2, and then anything higher than that, definitely Heroic. I think that's kind of the best combination if you're going just to run through the missions and if you're going for commendations. Because, like you said, you don't want to do the Spartan Ops and not be challenging, just kind of be a bore as you kill things over and over and over again.
I've done Spartan Ops single player on Heroic, and it's fairly easy. I mean, so I don't see why that would be any problem with 2 or 3 people.
Yeah. I was actually doing Spartan Ops on Legendary solo for a while until episode 5. And I still want to go back and do all this stuff solo on Legendary, even though I know for the latest episodes 6 through 10, it's kind of a death wish.
Yeah,
especially the ones where you're on Infinity and you're fighting off all the Covenant there.
I would get too frustrated. I couldn't have fun with that. Like, I get frustrated enough playing, Legendary Campaign.
I would do it just once.
I've noticed that Halo 4's Legendary Campaign seemed easier than other Legendary campaigns that I've played through. And I don't know if I'm just a better Halo player now or what.
I think one of the reasons for that too is the campaign's a little bit shorter than some of the past games.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the reasons why it seems that way.
Well, I think
that's just a personal opinion.
It's armor abilities.
Yeah, that too.
All that cool new stuff. I don't really like them in multiplayer, but in campaign they're cool.
I'll tell you what, using that jetpack to get away from some of the sword elites is one of the best things ever.
Oh yeah.
It's like they come running towards you, you jump, hit that jetpack, and then they just stand underneath you and you just shoot them over and over again until they die. That's one of the things I like to do with armor abilities. But yes, so that's the lineup for the Spartan Ops coming this next week. The list, I'm sure, will probably change the week after. We'll have to see what happens then. There are going to be some new playlists hitting the matchmaking system next week. There's going to be 3 new ones, and they're going to be 2 Majestic map pack specific ones. That's going to be Majestic FFA and Majestic Team DLC. And then there's going to be a new Infinity Rumble playlist, which is basically like Rumble Pit from Halo 3. And what was it called in Reach?
Lone Wolves?
That was it.
Lone Wolves was...
Yeah, I think, it was
I'm
Lone
right.
Wolves.
Yeah,
it was Lone Wolves. So that is going to be the playlist updates.
Always loved...
And they have some... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've always loved the Rumble Pit playlist in Halo. Whenever they actually had the rankings next to your name, like, I'd always get my highest ranking in Rumble Pit for some reason. Like, I suck at team-based games, but I am fairly decent at Rumble Pit.
For me, since I'm a team player, I'm not a good FFA person. It's always been one of those playlists where I tend to stay away from it. If you go back to my Halo 3 record, my FFA was low, and my team and objective playlists were higher up in rank because I'm more of a team player than I am a FFA player.
Yeah, that's probably my problem.
I've gotten a little bit better at doing, kind of staking it out on my own, but for the most part, doing team-based stuff is what I'm better at.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I mean, I'm okay at team-based stuff, but I'm better at just kind of running around, and if I find you, I'll kill you most of the time. But see, that doesn't work in team-based games where I come up on like 3 people and they all start shooting at me at the same time. I need if I come up on 3 people in Rumble Pit, like they're usually fighting each other, and I just throw in a grenade because they don't know what they're doing. They're all taking their health down and they're just waiting for a triple kill. But like you do that, and I mean, teammates aren't shooting themselves if they're a good team. You
have a bunch of kills. You have a bunch of kill stealing as to that effect as well.
Like I'm averse to following my teammates for some reason, and I've gotten a little better about it over time. But I just never followed my teammates, and you kind of have to be in packs to get the kind of jump on enemies in team-based games that you need to succeed. But I always get jumped by like 3 teammates on the other side, especially in like big team battle, where they'll just come up and all start shooting me at the same time, and I might be able to take like one of them out, like just out of luck or a good grenade toss. But I don't know. I need to work on my teamwork skills.
I'm sure you have plenty of people to do that with.
Yeah. I used to be okay at big team battle, but only if I'd have like a full party of people on my friends list, because they're all so good at Halo that they could make up for my incompetence.
Yeah. Big team, I find, is whenever you have a big party, or if you're playing with guests, the big team is the social playlist to play in, where you're going to have the most amount of quote-unquote fun, and it's really easy for people to kind of get integrated because there's a lot of things to shoot at.
Yeah.
As far as if you're really getting into the core team stuff, it's the 4-on-4 and the 5-on-5 stuff that's the realm that you want to be in, and that's why the playlists are designed that way.
Yep.
I didn't see anything in here. Maybe you caught it, but playlists going away. I didn't see playlists getting replaced, although we have 3 new ones. Did I miss something?
I think they're all being left in. No replacements, which is weird because they usually replace the lists.
Yeah, I don't know if they just left that out or if they had these extra slots all the time and now they're using these when they couldn't have used them before when everyone was complaining about playlists like King of the Hill going away.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to surprise you. Like, Big Team Battle's gone. Here's some.
Yeah.
I mean, that would suck.
Well, so last week, Team Throwdown replaced the Crimson DLC, right? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see anything on here where it said they were removing any playlists, and that's a little odd. My guess is they just forgot to include it, or maybe they are adding to it. I don't know.
Maybe they're getting rid of Infinity Slayer.
Well, no, because in the map lineup here in a second, they still have Infinity Slayer listed.
I know.
So
I'm just saying, there's a few lists that they will never replace ever. I mean, at least not for the first year.
Oh, there's some that's gonna never be replaced ever, like Big Team.
Yeah, BTB is gonna stay in.
There's always gonna be an objective type. There's always gonna be a flood one now. I wouldn't be surprised if they merged. Whenever they do add extraction. Actually, wait, they have extraction. Never mind. If they merge something like extraction, Dominion, and King. Wait. King of the Hill's already in the objective one. Dominion and extraction. I wouldn't be surprised if they merged those into like a big team objective list or something like that.
Yeah, it would need to have a creative name though, and I don't know what I'd call it. Like something to do with capturing stuff.
Oh, so I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if they'll get too creative on that, but yeah, I could see some creative name coming up for those game types, kind of being grouped together.
Yeah, I miss Action Sack. That's a great name. Like even if you didn't like the playlist, Action Sack's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. That was an interesting set of game types in there.
Yeah, I enjoyed Action Sack. Like I didn't care how crazy those game types were. That was the point.
I would like to see them kind of experiment with an Action Sack like playlist for Halo 4.
Yeah, just put in a Team Fiesta playlist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I don't know why I love that game type so much. It's like everything that I hate about Halo 4 multiplayer, which is like spawning with weapons that are too powerful. Like that's the whole point of Team Fiesta is like you get the best weapons just off the start, just run around, kill people.
I also want to see a multi-team playlist because, and I've said this over and over again on the podcast, but there was when I was at my friend's bachelor LAN party, we played 3 teams of extraction on whatever the ravine specific map is, the default map in Ravine. I don't remember what it's called. And that was a lot of fun. And we actually did the same thing as a referee warm-up for Fight Like a Girl tournament last year. And we had a bunch of fun with that, too. And I'm thinking over here, that would be really interesting to try, to have a multi-team extraction game going on. Have 3-4 teams going on in a game.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. So, 3 for 3, I know you're listening. Look into it. Make it happen.
Do it.
Do it now.
As JVB would say.
Do it.
Do it.
So
the Podfather.
Yes, indeed. So the maps are going to be integrated into the following playlist. Landfall will be in Infinity Slayer, SWAT, and Team Doubles. Monolith will be in Infinity Slayer, Capture the Flag, SWAT, Regicide, and Team Doubles. And Skyline will be in Infinity Slayer, Capture the Flag, SWAT, Regicide, and Team Doubles. So all these small team playlists, although Regicide's an FFA playlist, so other than that, all the small team playlists are using these maps starting next week.
So no BTB on Landfall?
Well, so we're gonna get this into this for the next show when we talk about the Majestic stuff a little bit more. But from the video that they released, the Making the Majestic map pack, they said that all these maps are mostly small or medium-sized maps, very different from what the Crimson map pack was, which I think is good. They're really balancing out the DLC. I really like what they've done with the DLC so far.
Yep, but I love BTB. So if you're going to give me 3 medium-sized maps, I want 3 large-sized maps for the next map pack. I want them big, large-scale maps.
I think we're going to get a mix next time.
Yeah.
Which is all right, because we had 3 big ones for the first map pack, and then we have 3 small, medium ones, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we just got a bag full of random sizes in there.
But at least give me 1 big-size map. I mean, come on. If you're going to leave out any big-size map in this map pack, you have to give me at least 1 on the next map pack.
Yeah.
I mean, BTB is like, I think it's the most popular playlist, isn't it? If you look at the population numbers, BTB is always number 1.
I think it's because it's the most casual and the most social playlist. I think that's primarily the reason why.
Yeah, but I mean...
Which is not a bad thing.
BTB is a Halo thing. It's been around for a long time. I mean, since the very beginning. Right. BTB was a thing. I mean, 8v8 is Halo's premier, largest, like, team-based battle you can have. That's the point. It's a big team battle.
Yep.
I mean, and people love it. It has its own... I mean, you have to play a BTB match completely different from how you would play a 4v4 match. It's a completely different experience. I mean, it's more vehicle-based. Capture the flag games are completely different.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, if they manage to get something like a 20-player ability on Halo 5 or maybe 24, I'm sure that'll attract a few more people. Because people have always wanted to be able to play with a few more players in Halo. And there are some maps that would just fit really well with it. I think Vortex is one of them. That map is huge. And
I think 10v10 would be kind of the largest I would want.
Yeah, I think that 20 mark would be kind of the sweet spot above the 16. 16 works out pretty well, but I think we're kind of pushing the boundaries where 20 would still be an okay player count in the map.
Yeah.
And with the new hardware, they could probably have the ability to do that. I would hope.
Durango.
The next box. All right.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Xbox 720 is going to give me. What kind of hardware it's coming out with.
It's looking promising so far. The hardware specs are pretty beefy. It's just a matter of what the price point is going to be and how it stands up to the PS4.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be slightly less powerful than PS4. And significantly cheaper. They're going to somehow like come to a mix between that. I don't want it to be less powerful, to be honest. I'll pay extra for a powerful Xbox, but I mean, that was Xbox 360's strategy. And it worked. Mm-hmm. Like at the time, PS3 couldn't get any sales because it was way overpriced at the time. I mean, and you were getting a lot of power. So, I mean, it wasn't really overpriced, but it was just at a higher price point than consumers were willing to go for a home video game console.
Right.
Except for the most hardcore of gamers.
Well, I have a PS3. I just don't even use it that much. It's I either posted this on Facebook or I tweeted about it, but it's a paperweight or a Blu-ray player. That's about it for me.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good Blu-ray player at the time.
Yeah.
I think it's at one point it was the cheapest Blu-ray player you could buy. I mean.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was like 6 years ago.
I know. Now you can get one for what?
$80.
Yeah.
I've seen some for 60 and they're like really, really cheap.
Cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, still. But yeah, Durango. It's going to be interesting to see how Halo evolves.
Durango.
Next generation of Xbox hardware.
Mm-hmm.
How it's going to be Kinect integrated. Because you know it's coming. I mean, they might downplay it. Microsoft might let them downplay it, but it'll be involved somehow. Like, there's going to be some sort of Microsoft mandate that every game that comes out on Xbox 720 has to have some sort of Kinect functionality. Because they're not going to.
I think they already said that, didn't they?
Maybe, but I mean, you can just assume that off the bat, because if Kinect 2 is going to be integrated into the console, you know that they're going to make them do it.
It can't be integrated in the console because of where people put their console. That just doesn't make any sense.
If it comes bundled with the console, which is what I think is going to happen, You're going to get a Kinect 2, and it's going to just be on its own, but you have to connect it to your console like you do.
Oh, that's fine. I don't mind about that.
But it will be bundled with every single Xbox 720 sold, at least, if it's not integrated somehow.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind about having it bundled with an Xbox. That doesn't faze me that much. But there's a rumor going around.
Go ahead.
There's a rumor going around that the Kinect was actually going to be built into the Xbox.
Yeah, my Xbox is not in any position to get a visual picture of me.
No, mine isn't either.
I mean, it's not even pointed towards me, so I mean, it would have to be. I mean, they're not that stupid. They understand that you're not going to be able to put your Xbox in the same place you can put a Kinect camera. I mean, that thing has to be smaller than the Kinect is now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it might be.
I'm pretty sure they're not. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be that stupid. Although it is Microsoft we're talking about.
But yeah, back to Halo and Kinect. I don't know what you would do. I mean, other than like...
I mean, there's one thing where, yeah, you have to be able to support Kinect, but you don't have to necessarily implement all the features, because look at Anniversary. There's the whole library thing and the kind of encyclopedia thing you could do in campaign. Maybe if they just did that for the campaign and left multiplayer and everything else alone, then that's fine. I would like to see something along the lines of squad commands, possibly, in Halo 4. That would be kind of the extent to which I would implement Kinect in multiplayer, though.
All units.
All units, attack left! Or maybe in Spartan Ops, you can give your commands to the Marines that way.
Yeah.
Like if you're going around with a group of allies, you can say, go over and attack this spot, and while you're playing with your actual friends and telling them what to do, you could order your Marines around. That would be cool.
Bring back a more, like, focused version of the target locator. Don't make the orbital bombardment don't make it as large as the one in Reach. But for Spartan Ops, just have a tiny little target locator that can shoot down rockets on things. That'd be cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. I love the target locator.
I don't know why it was in the campaign. Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But I went in Spartan Ops.
Yeah.
The point of Spartan Ops is that the UNSC is there to assist you. The Master Chief doesn't need the UNSC's assistance. They're just helping him out. They're just icing on the cake. He could totally do all that stuff on his own. But the Spartan 4s, they kind of need the UNSC's assistance because they're not as powerful as Spartan 2s.
That makes me wonder how, if Infinity is sitting outside the shell of Requiem, how on earth in Episode 4, where Palmer sent that airstrike down to try to stop Jewel, how did that happen? If Infinity's outside the shell. I just now thought of that. Am I missing something?
I don't know.
Did they deploy a satellite or something?
It seems like a pretty big plot hole, though, if it's true. You think that they'd catch something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, the Majestic map pack playlists that are going to be dropping is the Majestic FFA and the Majestic Team DLC. And those are going to be with the maps as follows. Landfall is going to have so this is the Team DLC from Majestic playlist. Landfall is going to have Infinity Slayer and Extraction. Monolith is going to have Infinity Slayer, Team Regicide, and King of the Hill. And Skyline is going to have Infinity Slayer, Capture the Flag, and SWAT. For the FFA DLC playlist, Landfall is going to have Infinity Rumble, Rumble Pro, and Monolith is going to have the same plus Regicide, and Skyline is going to have the same as Monolith, Infinity Rumble, Rumble Pro, and Regicide.
Sweet.
And as you would have noticed there, I just listed off two different kind of rumbles in there. So the FFA game types in there. And they Bravo breaks those down in here as well. The mode for Infinity Rumble it's a total of 8 players. Score to win is 250 points or 25 kills. Custom loadouts are enabled. No instant respawn. There is the death cam, motion tracker, personal ordnance drops, and the time limit is 15 minutes. And that pays more on kind of the Infinity Slayer experience. The Rumble Pro is tailored more towards the Doubles Pro settings. And the settings in that is going to be 8 players. Score to win is still 25 kills. Loadouts are set to game type specific, and we'll cover those here in a second. No instant respawns, no death cam. Motion trackers enabled. Ordnance drops are still on there. No personal ordnance drops. And the time limit is 12 minutes. The Rumble Pro loadouts are as follows. Loadout 1 is going to have... let me just start off. Across the board, all the loadouts are going to have no armor abilities available. The tactical mod is going to be resupply, and the support mod is going to be explosives. For the loadout specific stuff, and all of them are going to have magnums as secondary. But each loadout, you're going to have the option of a DMR, battle rifle, light rifle, and carbine. So again, all the loadouts are going to have magnum, no armor ability. Tactical mod is going to be resupply, support mod is going to be explosives, and then you have the 4 loadouts differentiated by DMR, battle rifle, light rifle, and carbine.
Pros use the carbine.
Actually, pros use the BR.
I know. I don't like the Halo 4 carbine at all. It's just...
It needs to be beefed up a little bit in order to be able to play with the bigger boys like the BR and the DMR.
Like, I had a better time with the light rifle. And I don't even like the light rifle. I just like it for popping crawlers in the face.
It's more of a campaign weapon than it is really it. Which is funny because talking with some of the pros before Halo 4 actually came out, a lot of them were actually looking to use the light rifle.
Huh.
That was the big pull for the primary weapon was the light rifle, and that kind of changed. Yeah, well, so it didn't exactly change to the BR. The BR was more of a decision on a balance of the game, not necessarily whether or not people preferred the BR over the light rifle. Although there was some influence in there, and most of it I think is nostalgia from playing with the battle rifle in Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Well, yeah, I mean, the battle rifle was the quintessential multiplayer weapon after Halo 2. That was the one to use. You know, I mean, it was just so damn fun to use it in Halo 2 that people wanted it. So they brought it back in Halo 3, and then people are like, wow, this is definitely not the Halo 2 BR.
I find it a little bit more difficult to use in the Halo 2 BR, but easier than the Halo 3 BR.
Yeah.
That's me personally. I still am a primarily DMR type person. I do not play that much with any of the other primary weapons. I'll dab into some of the other weapons if I decide just to go off for commendations at some off of a whim or something like that. But other than that, I'm playing DMR almost 100% of the time.
I alternate between BR and DMR. It just depends. On the smaller maps, I like BR. And then on like the medium maps, I use DMR usually. But I definitely prefer battle rifle in those closer range maps. Mm-hmm. Just like the feel of it. The cadence lends itself better to close quarters.
Yeah, it definitely works better that way.
I like that.
That's pretty good. Do it again. Nice. I think I'll hire you for sound effects for Halo 5.
Getting put out like a mod or something like they do with Beavis and Butthead on like every Valve game ever. Just put me out like.
You know the Quake mod that they put in like all the Half-Life related games. So like if you're playing Team Fortress or something, you'll have some of those Quake sounds and whatever just dropped in there randomly. It's like overkill.
Overkill. Yeah. We need to get Jeff Steitzer in here. Like if I could ever do a podcast with Jeff Steitzer, I feel like we'd have to pay him.
I don't think he doesn't do that stuff though. That's
yeah. That's not his deal. And
yeah, it'd be so cool if we could get him to say Podtacular. That'd be awesome.
It'd be cool to get Steve Downs. Like that dude's voice was made for radio. That's why he's on it.
I need to convince him to get on the show. He said he would come on, and I've sent him a couple emails. I may hit
emailing me.
I emailed him once.
No,
I didn't go overboard, but I know some people I can talk to who can vouch for me on my behalf to see if he would come on the show. He said he would back in Halo Fest, and I know it's been a while, so he may not even remember who I am anymore. But we'll get him on eventually, one of these days.
To bring us the best classic rock music from the 70s and 80s. 60s, 70s, and I don't know if he does 80s, actually.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
All right.
From Beatles' White Album.
Indeed. I was born in the 80s, and of that, it was 89, so that's beyond me.
It just always made my day when I'd be listening to the radio in the car, and I would hear the promo that Steve Downes would record for his radio show on the weekends.
It's Master Chief!
Because I would always... Yeah, that's the thing. It's the Master Chief, and he's, like, bringing the best classic rock from the 70s and 60s. Like, that's crazy. Like...
I envy those people that get to hear him on a weekly basis.
Like, and you just, if you imagine that the Master Chief is like somewhere in space, like DJing this radio show, it's hilarious. It's just funny, and it's cool at the same time, you know.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you. And yeah.
And I've never actually listened to his radio show though. I mean, I just like the promos.
I think it gives you a
I'd
taste,
probably
though.
like the radio show. It's just,
yeah.
Never had the time. It's usually on at night, and I'm not listening to the radio. Like. Anytime I'm out of the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like if you're home, it's just you're on your Xbox or you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's a little bit difficult. And with me, it's like I have all my podcasts to listen to. I have my own music to listen to, and yeah, I have my own personal radio.
Yep.
And
the internet radio. You know,
that too. A kind of a tailored experience over there. Pandora, Spotify, all those nice sites.
iHeartRadio.
Last FM. Yeah, all those. All right, the title update. I think this is one of the things a lot of people are really looking forward to. There's a lot of stuff here. We'll hit the bullet points, of course, because they're all bullet points. In regard to the gameplay, we talked about this one last week because it's the one they hinted at. Reduce the range of the bolt shots of damage scaling over distance. The previous range for one-hit kills was 20 to 25 feet, and it's been reduced to 15.
I've already said it, but the problem with the bolt shot isn't its damage range. I mean, that's the problem, but essentially the design problem with the bolt shot is that you can spawn with it. So you spawn with a shotgun.
You spawn with a weapon that can deliver an instant kill. That's the problem.
Like, you can charge it up, wait around a corner, and some guy, if he's dumb enough to come around the corner, you will kill him instantly. Like, whereas with a melee attack, you'd have to do it twice, or get him with a grenade.
Personally, I wouldn't mind if it was a one-hit kill if the range was close enough. I think the range needs to be somewhere of an average of 5. Like something like 7 at the absolute most. I think 15 is still way too much for a one-hit kill from the bolt shot.
Yeah. And it has a secondary firing mechanism. So if you don't
but
kill
no one ever uses that.
But I'm saying, like, if you bolt shot somebody, and I don't know the cooldown time after the bolt shot goes off, and you don't kill them, you could still, shoot them with a single shot in the face, and it's a headshot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, shotguns don't even do that. You got to get 2 shotgun blasts off. Like, if the first one doesn't work, you usually melee, because the recharge time on, pumping the shotgun, it's just easier to melee. It's faster. It's just taking a risk you don't really have to take.
Right.
Like, that's the kind of design difference between the scatter shot and the shotgun. The scatter shot is made for multiple firings, which is why a lot of people don't like it. I mean, you can be real close with the scatter shot. I mean, closer than you think you need to be to get a single hit kill with it, and it just doesn't work. So you got to keep pumping that thing off. But it's fast.
Yeah.
So.
I like the scatter shot. I don't go out of my way to get it, but whenever I get it, I like it. It's all right. Moving on. Gameplay fixed an issue where modified loadouts were not being saved correctly. I never ran into that issue, but I guess other people did. Fixed an issue where attempting to sprint while crouching using hold to crouch would cause players to be unable to shoot for 1 to 1.5 seconds. Ew, that sucks.
Yeah, I never experienced that, but I can see where I can think of some scenarios where that would be annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fixed an issue where some players were not able to get into matches on new map game variants after playlist updates. So I'm guessing this is where like you're online, the playlists get updated, and your playlist doesn't update in the game, and then you're just kind of stuck in this limbo state.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm guessing that is. Fixed a DLC-related join in progress issue that kicked players back to the title screen. I have actually had that happen, personally.
So what is it? Like, describe it.
So we would join in a game, and so it was. I don't know if it's exactly related to this, but it happened. It was a DLC map, but you know that black screen that happens and everything. So
Yeah.
I got bumped back to the title screen, but the friend I was playing with, who's been on the show before, Jackfire Dragon, he was still in the game. He was playing, and I couldn't join him because I was technically still in his party, and I was still technically in the game, even though I wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really weird glitch.
That is weird. But now it's fixed.
Yeah, but now it's fixed. So I was actually, I did have that happen to me. Let's see, next is fixed various issues regarding glitched auto-sentry deployment. Okay. Fixed an issue where one player per session was unable to stay scoped with the flagnum. One player per session, that's a little interesting.
Like it picks one person out and that one person can't scope with the flagnum, I guess.
Maybe it's like the first person to pick up one of the flags.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird one. I wonder how they find some of these bugs too. I guess.
Well, I mean, that one
people...
seems like you would probably figure that one out pretty quick.
Right.
I mean, like one person every match grabs the flag and they can't scope in with it. You know, I mean.
Yeah, that would be
keeps
really,
pulling
really
them
bad.
out.
Yeah. Fixed an issue where clients playing multi-round matches were not propelled by man cannons after the first round on Wreckage. Alright, that seems like a applicable bug to fix. Fixed an issue for players who had licensed content for specialization offer and had the free map pack content but did not have the map pass or map pack license for displaying a new error message. You have map pack blah 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 blah. So this is for ones that had, I guess they had the purchase content for the limited edition or the map pass, and it was saying that your download was not licensed and that you needed to delete it. So I guess that's what that's for.
Well, here's what I think it is. Just reading it, and I don't know, but to me it sounds like back when they were sending out the emails that you could like, it was
Unlock
for
the
specialization, whatever,
yeah.
yeah. Like that also unlocked the first map pack, War Games map pack, or no, the first one. What was that called? I can't even remember. Crimson map pack. Duh. And it would unlock the Crimson map pack, but it was only for like 2 weeks or something, and then you would have the map pack content on your 360, but you didn't have the license to it. And so I guess there was an issue for that. And now they're saying that they're fixing it by displaying the new error message saying you have map pack content that requires a license. Please purchase the War Games map pass, purchase the map pack individually, or delete the map pack content from your console. It's basically saying that like the content you have on there is locked now. You need to buy it or get rid of it because you can't use it.
Got it. All right. You want to take the next section of bullets?
Yes. Vehicle fixes. Fixed issues with friendly fire against vehicles. If friendly fire is disabled, damage EMPs from friendly sources will no longer damage vehicles that are fully controlled by your team. So no friendly fire if it's disabled. I never encountered that.
Friendly fire!
Well, I've encountered that in Spartan Ops, where people will blow up your vehicle because they don't want you to have it. They don't want you to have fun.
Oh, yeah. That sucks.
Fixed an issue where the Wraith secondary turret became disabled when shot with a plasma pistol. The feature has been updated to be consistent with previous Halo titles. So that's not really an issue. It sounds like a design decision for Halo 4 that they've decided to change. So
yeah.
Because in the previous, the EMPs started in Halo 3, right? That was in Yeah. And like the Wraith would have the secondary turret, so if you EMP'd the Wraith, if someone was on the turret, they could still kill you fairly easily. Like you couldn't just run up on it and jump in. But now you can totally do that. So I guess they've decided they want to go back to being able to. You can use that turret to defend yourself if the Wraith is disabled.
Right.
Because that's the entire point of the turret on the Wraith. The turret isn't an offensive thing; it's a defensive thing for the Wraith. Because if you get close enough to a Wraith, the firing trajectory on the catapult really isn't made for close range. You could always ram somebody with the Wraith, but there was always the possibility that they could jump up and grab onto you.
Uh-huh.
So it was just always a risk for any, like, if you had multiple people coming up on your Wraith and they were close enough, you were just dead. But the secondary turret changed that.
Sweet.
Yep. Moving on. Fixed a Manus functionality exploit that allowed pilots to survive planted grenades. So, no survival.
I would have liked to have been on that end of the Mantis.
I know. Be like, I lived.
I would have loved to have
I still
that.
don't know what you could do. I mean, you'd have to be like getting out of the Manus while that was happening to like have any chance of survival, though.
Yeah. It's weird. Specific game mode fixes. Friendly fire turned off in Flood to prevent exploits. Okay.
I guess people were, like, before the Flood could get to them, they might have been killing their teammates. Like
Maybe?
humans were killing humans. I don't.
Okay.
I'm just speculating. I have no clue. I'm just trying to think
that makes sense. That makes
how
sense.
I could use friendly fire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh,
Fix Flood character models to allow for Warthog and Mongoose use.
That's cool. So now you're going to be able to see Flood driving around in Warthogs and Mongoose. That'll be funny. I wonder what they're going to use that for, because they wouldn't just add it for no reason.
Right.
I guess maybe it's a Forge thing? I mean, for
I don't
custom
know.
game types, you can, like...
Well, yeah, it would definitely be for customs.
Sounds like they're ramping up for a race game type, huh? Putting new character models in vehicles.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Although, as we'll see in a bit, I don't see race game type coming up.
Well, I mean, that's going to be in a later update. I don't think it's going to be in this one.
Yeah.
It'll be too late. It'll be like a month before Halo 5 comes out. It's race time.
Race time.
Race time.
Race time.
Fixed an inconsistency with King of the Hill Death Cam.
Yeah. Isn't there inconsistencies across the board with Death Cam?
Yeah, that entire Death Cam thing is like messed up. Like, I used to watch myself die in Spartan Ops all the time.
It just... Death Cam, it doesn't work that often. It just take it out. Fixed an issue where the Griff ball would get stuck in geometry and never respawn. Yeah, I could see that being a problem. Fixed the issue for extraction where players did not regain full control of their character for extended periods of time after interacting with a site. Ooh.
Wow. That would suck. I just captured the site. Now I can't move.
I thought that was more of lag, because I know whenever I play extraction, like, after you capture the base, and I thought this was just something native to the game, and it was just kind of a lag thing, because I would stand there for about half a second, I couldn't move, and then I would finally move after half a second. I thought either that was the animation finishing up for me capturing the base because of lag, or that was just kind of built into the game, but I guess it was an actual issue instead.
Feature.
Yeah, right. Fix multiple extraction scoring issues, including an overtime fix that ensures that a victory will not be awarded to a team who is controlling the go-ahead extraction point when the game ends.
Okay. Sounds like something that would probably suck if it happened to you, but I don't fully understand it yet.
I'm trying to decipher that one.
So what is the go-ahead extraction point? Like, define that.
I guess, like, the one that's coming... No. The go-ahead extraction point. I don't know.
Well, if you're controlling it, you're screwed because you won't get a victory in overtime.
I guess.
But they're fixing it, so you're all right. You're gonna be all right after TU update number 1. Or TU number 1.
I don't know. Huh.
Yep.
Yeah. You want to take the custom game ones?
Yes. Custom game fixes fixed an issue that did not allow players to create respawn timers or disable instant respawn in custom games. So that's a big one. Instant respawn will now be able to be disabled.
Yay! A lot of custom map makers and game type makers have been asking for that for a while now.
Yeah. So I'm glad 343 was listening. Fixed an issue on Shatter where players couldn't start a custom Dominion game. Okay. So I guess you couldn't play Dominion on Shatter. Fixed an issue where the Ordnance game options reset when scrolling up or down in custom games. Fixed an issue where custom game descriptions did not appear in the settings preview screen.
That's a funny one.
Yeah. Okay, and fixed inconsistencies and bugs in the final death cam for custom games.
Another death cam one.
Yep. They are aware of their death cam issues. Spartan Ops fixed an issue where the dedicated to Crimson achievement could not be unlocked.
I actually heard some people.
That one?
I heard a few people actually complain about that one.
Yeah, I didn't have. I mean, I've got it. I think, pretty sure. But I think what happened was I had to play one of the matches over twice.
Yeah.
I think initially I had it and it wouldn't unlock, but then I just had to play another mission again and it worked. I don't remember, but I have it. Fixed an issue where players in Spartan Ops Episode 6 Mission 1 were able to look around before the vignette. Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I actually, when I first played Episode 6, I was able to do that. I was able to look around.
So
it was supposed to be scripted until the player 1 assassinated that first elite. It was supposed to be scripted until you dropped, and you could actually move the camera around.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Miscellaneous. Fixed a selection of issues where their theater clips were missing map-specific audio, including ambient noise and announcer voice. I think you may have pissed off a few machine makers with that, because there are times when I know people want to be able to get rid of the ambient noise, and more so the announcer voice.
Yeah.
So fixed. That's questionable.
Ruined a feature where theater clips were missing from map-specific audio.
Yeah.
Fixed file share preview images for films and map variants. So now you can see images for films and map variants.
Yay! Fixed issues with in-game translations. Oops.
And I wonder what some of the problems were with that. Like,
I know, right?
Were they just funny translations, like mistranslated? I don't know. Fixed title screen camera clipping. That's nice. I've never seen the camera clip on the title screen.
Neither have I. Fixed an issue with forged pieces and the shadows they create. All right.
Fixed aliasing split screen HUD issues.
Yeah, that seemed kind of persistent across the board whenever I played split screen. So I'm glad they fixed that. Fixed an issue where some saved films of Forge games featured no Forge lighting. Okay.
I mean, wasn't that the entire draw that they were trying to go with on the Halo 4 version of Forge? Is look at all this cool, lighting you can, this is all real-time lighting on the stuff you make, so it's going to make your maps look amazing.
Yeah, but most of the time you do that for afterwards, like when you go into custom games and the shadows are generated before you play the game, not necessarily afterwards. I'm sorry, not afterwards, during your forging.
Yeah.
So
if it's pre-generated, but still you want that Forge lighting to show up in the thing, like the films you create. So
yeah,
that's fixing this.
That's actually applicable to something that a friend of mine's been working on that I can't really discuss here on the podcast, but I think that he ran into this exact issue.
Where they the Forge lighting just didn't show up in save films?
Well, no, so there's like a track, and you would go down the track, and there's nothing to cast a shadow, but somehow there's a shadow on this track.
Oh.
It's like that. There's nothing there, but there's a shadow just out of the blue, just sitting there.
Crazy, like random shadows.
Yes.
Shadow world.
Yeah.
Fixed incorrect change description text in file browser. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And last but not least, fixed assorted crashes.
Yay.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah.
Finally, to wrap up the bulletin, when they were doing their testing to make sure the map would be able to be downloaded over Xbox Live, it was actually made public everywhere. So few people got the ability to try to download the map pack, but they were never able to really complete, or most people weren't able to complete the download, but some people were able to nab it. I think play for a little bit before it got kicked off. So we are. Some people probably have already played the maps. It seems like a very small number from what they've said and what they tweeted out, but it's not to worry. We have the maps coming out in 4 days, so I think we'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be fine because my Xbox Live Gold subscription is going out. And like I'll probably find like some 72-hour card just to play the maps. But
no, I'll hook you up. I have plenty of extra codes.
I'll find those codes. There's got to be codes somewhere.
I got them when they were $30.
Somewhere out there.
So actually, Amazon's selling them for the years for $40 right now.
But I mean, I guess the reason I bring it up is, I mean, the people thought that Sony was going to announce that they were bringing out their own version of Xbox Live Gold, basically a paid subscription for their online services. And it was rumored to be called PlayStation World or something, but they didn't say anything about that at all at their presentation. So people aren't sure if you're going to have to pay for PSN on the PS4 or not.
The pissin'?
But I don't know. Yep. Xbox Live needs to. I realize that they're never gonna move away from the paid subscriptions. They're making too much money off of it. But couldn't you just like make it $50 instead of $60?
Go back to the 50?
Yeah, just. I mean, are you really? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess they've done testing. They know that that's the price people will pay for Xbox Live. Well, and I know. It's
if you look at it, it's the same.
A day.
It's the same price as a game.
Yeah,
that's probably their justification for it.
But the thing is, it's a game is something that I will own for the entire structural integrity of the disc that I bought it on. You know, if I keep it in good shape.
Well, and I also think that for games, I hate this notion where all disc games are $60, regardless of what class of game it is, what title it is, what franchise it is. Everything is $60 to start off with. Where the PC world, you have stuff that ranges from $25 to $55. It's a range based on like how much effort's been put into the game and all that stuff.
Look at the Steam bills.
Yeah,
those are crazy. Like
Steam has a great platform for the PC.
If they sold Xbox games like they sold Steam games, like the Steam sales and things like that, and variable pricing, and they play crazy and loose with their pricing sometimes on those sales. You know, you'll get like Batman Arkham City for like $5 or whatever, $10. It's crazy stuff, like games that are fairly new and look great. I mean, AAA games, quadruple A title games, for $5 and $10 on Steam. That's nuts. You would never get that kind of a sell on Xbox or PS.
No, unless you waited the 2 to 4 weeks when it finally price drops, and at that point it's only dropping to 40, maybe $30.
I think how much is Halo 3 on in demand or games on demand? It's like $20, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like there are games that are not as old as Halo 3 that premiere for like $5 and $10 on Steam. It's
yeah. No, I agree. The Steam platform. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Steam platform is just so fantastic. And I mean, look at the Steam sale of all things.
Yeah, but I don't think the consoles are ever going to come to that point. I think that they are in the market of overpriced digital goods. That's what makes the console market money. Whereas PC has, by definition, I mean, not definition, by nature, a larger install base than consoles do. PC developers have access to more customers, and so they can justify putting their PC games out for $5 and $10 or $15.
Right. Which,
And licensing fees, too. I assume they're much cheaper on Steam than...
Yeah, it's a PC platform.
Yeah.
Anyways, that covers the bulletin. We'll cover more of the Majestic map stuff in greater detail this weekend. And we're going to move on to submissions now. We have a few for this week. We got quite a few responses off our question of the week last week, which was, would you pay for Spartan Ops Season 2? And if you would, how much would you pay? So we have a few people that wrote in for that. And I think only one of the submissions was not related to this question, which is all right. We still got quite a few submissions.
Oh, yeah. And people can still send in things if it's not related to the question of the week. We just want to give people something to think about if they can't think of anything else. You know, I mean, it's good to have a generalized topic for stuff like this.
Right. And hopefully it's a platform for you guys to just be encouraged to give us submissions. Actually, I need to check the post to see if actually one posted in there, but you want to go ahead and read the first one?
Yes, Karts writes in saying, hey guys, love the idea of adding a question at the end of the podcast. I only played the first 10 to 15 missions, and to me it was not anything special. I did not beat the campaign at the time, and now that I'm done now that I am done with the campaign, I want to go back and do the rest as I heard they get better. Personally, I would not pay for Spartan Ops missions since it's more of a co-op thing. And for me to enjoy Spartan Ops, I would need to play it with friends. That being said, my friends would not buy the Spartan Ops missions if it costs additional money, so I wouldn't get the most fun out of it. If they were to demand money for it, I would expect it to be like Walking Dead prices for chapters. I think it's like 400 or 800 Microsoft points.
I never played Walking Dead, so I don't know.
Nope. Walking Dead got a lot of awards.
Yeah.
Supposedly that's a real cool game.
They got Game of the Year from the VGAs.
Yeah. Telltale did a good job, and I haven't even played it yet, but I assume, I mean, you don't win Game of the Year awards. I mean, it wasn't just the VGAs either, which are kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they won awards at actual developer award ceremonies. So, yeah. But, I mean, with The Walking Dead, you're getting an actual, I mean, that's the full game. It's not DLC add-on content for a game you have to buy. I mean, if you buy the Spartan Ops content and you don't own Halo 4 for some reason, if for some reason unknown to man, you want to buy Spartan Ops Season 2 and you don't own Halo 4, you won't be able to play it. It's add-on content, whereas The Walking Dead is a separate, standalone game.
Right.
Just split up into different episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can understand if your friends aren't playing Spartan Ops and they're not going to buy Season 2. If that's what you enjoy about Spartan Ops, which is playing with people you know, I can see where you wouldn't like that.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than a laggy Spartan Ops match.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this, I hate it. And
it was the same thing for Firefight. It was the exact same thing for Firefight.
Yeah. I mean, Firefight got real laggy in Halo ODST.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was times in Halo Reach when it was really laggy as well.
Yeah. I've just noticed generally Spartan Ops isn't that laggy. But when it is laggy, you can definitely, it's a bad experience. It's no fun.
Uh-huh.
The DMR is basically unusable in laggy, extremely laggy situations in Spartan Ops.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's a real pain.
I know.
Next one comes from Redeemed Spartan 05. He says, hey, Podtac, I like the idea of the question of the podcast. I think we just read this. Since it gives a general topic and make it more personal for the show. On to the answer. I would pay 1,600 Microsoft points, $20 for sure. But if they were to make new play spaces from Season 1, I might spend 2,400 Microsoft points, or $30. Truthfully, 20 is most likely a good cost since it is equivalent to a third of the game. By the way, I've been listening to the podcast for a little over 200 episodes, and I wanted to know the legend behind Nene. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, keep up the great podcast. Keep up the great job, guys, and keep fracking those trucks. Oh my gosh, Nene.
Nene. I don't remember the legend.
That goes way
of Nene.
back. Oh, that goes way back. The pink blur.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember something about that.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
We need to have like some sort of like
Funny
you know how
boy.
they have the Halo Bible where they keep all of like the Halo canon that really matters behind it, and there's like all sorts of secrets and things inside
So
of it.
I've wanted to do a wiki kind of like that for Podtacular. I just haven't had the time. But Nene, oh gosh, it was started by a community member by the name of Funny Boy. I forget the details because it's been so long since we talked about it. It's been probably over a year and a half. But the rumor is no one has seen Nene, and those that have seen him have not lived to tell the tale. And for those that think they have seen them, all they've seen is a pink blur. That's the story of Nene so far. I'll have to see if I can dig through the forums and podcasts and get more information. But that's the baseline of the story behind Nene, and it's not. I forget. I don't remember if that's the actual spelling or not. Is Nay? I think it is. But I'll have to check. Wow, that brings back. Oh my gosh, that brings back memories.
Yep.
Wow, that was a podcast from another time ago. I'm gonna take the next one and have you read the one afterwards. Travis from Drunken Halo writes in. Travis here and wanted to say thanks for the mention on the show. I was very shocked and excited to hear the recognition. Keep up the good work. In regards to your question of would you pay for Smarten Ops, my answer would be yes, if reasonable. $10 or less, and I would. Anyways, to stay brief, Deathstorm, I would love to play some Halo with you sometimes. Gamertag is Gamertag. Thanks again for Drunken Halo. I guess we can say he wrote it in as a submission, so it's boom sticky. Actually was able to. I was on Post Game Carnage Report last night. I was invited by Robowski and had a wonderful time over there. We talked about last week's bulletin. We talked about our top 5 games and a few other tidbits. I went into a whole rant of my story behind Halo and Halo 2 and all that good stuff. So it was a fun podcast, and I actually got to talk to Justin and Travis over there from Drunken Halo. They were invited on the show as well. So we had a cross of 3 podcasts. We had Podtacular, we had Post Game Carnage Report, and we had Drunken Halo all in the same room, which was interesting.
Synergy.
Oh yeah, very much so. A very synergistic community the Halo community is. So
Halo leaders connecting with each other.
Exactly. So they want me to be on their show, and Travis wants to play a bit. So I'm sure we'll get some game time in there, buddy. And then again, thanks again to the Post Game Carnage Report guys for having me on. Heebs, Robowski, Evander, and Skills. I didn't forget you this time, Heebs. Can't hold me accountable for that one anymore. Take the next one.
All right, Game Dude 03 says, "Hey guys, so your question from last week was, would I buy Spartan Ops Season 2 and how much would I pay for it? After playing the finale, it's a very hot topic, if you know what I mean." I was trying to figure out what that joke meant when I was editing these submissions. And is it a reference to what happens to Catherine? Is it?
No. It's have you played it?
I've played it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I get it.
The finale.
So
yeah. We won't spoil it. We won't spoil it here. But
my mind just went directly to Halsey though for some reason. I was like, man, what? Hot? Maybe.
No, not that kind of hot. Different kind of hot.
All right. Anyway, I'd buy Season 2.
Now that we have that out in the clear.
Now that I got that out in the open. Anyway, I'd buy Season 2 for 1,600 Microsoft points. It seems logical to see it being that much, and if they have people pay for it, you get more map content. On the downside, not a lot of people can get 1,600 Microsoft points, and that leads to a lower player audience. If it's free, you get to enjoy the benefits of gold, like Brent said, and it helps the replayability like the maps do, only this goes on for months and keeps the story fresh. So those are my thoughts on this. Sorry if my submission is confusing. My words come out faster than my brain can catch up. See you later, and keep on fragging those requiems.
Very nice.
So that wasn't confusing. Very well written submission.
It was good.
1,600 is that would be my guess as far as how much they're going to charge if they do charge at all. It's either going to be $20 or it's going to be $10, but I don't think it's going to be 15. Maybe it will.
I could see it being 15.
Yeah.
I would personally pay up to $30 for a completely new season. And here's why. The play spaces that we have in Spartan Ops, most of them are a good portion of them are reused from the multiplayer maps or the campaign maps, but they're redone in such a way where the environment has been altered quite a bit, and you're essentially getting a new map. And I want to say 3 or 4 of those maps are new maps to begin with, anyways, completely new. So you're getting, and that was just for one half. So if you put both those halves together, you're getting 6 to 8 brand new maps, plus reskinned, redone maps for the other ones that have been pulled from multiplayer or campaign. And for seasons 2, they're probably going to do all new maps. It's probably not going to be reused like they did for season 1. And even with the season 1, they did a good job with that. I would be willing to pay $30 for a season 2 of Spartan Ops, personally. I think if it's going to have to be capped at no more than 20 for consumers, and I think the Goldilocks spot for this situation is probably going to be $15, so 1,600 Microsoft points. I mean, 1,200 Microsoft points.
Here's my theory. All right, I think it's going to be $20 because that gives Microsoft the opportunity to put out 1,600 Microsoft point cards that have Sarah Palmer on the front and say Spartan Ops Season 2. Really? Because that's the way you can sell, large pieces of digital content like that. I mean, they've done that with other things. I'm trying to think of a digital piece of content you can buy that way. Like the Diablo. Like that's where I saw it. Like Diablo 3, you can purchase that as a digital download on a card. Now, I don't know why I'm not sure how that works. I didn't buy Diablo 3, but they have like a boxed copy that just comes with the code, but you get a box or something. And then there's also the cards that you can purchase that are just cards like you'd see like a Microsoft Point card.
So they're just download codes?
Yeah, just download codes. I've seen it like that. There's like 2 different versions. There's like the boxed copy.
Okay.
And just the download code.
Maybe the box copy has something that the download... Maybe the box copy has something that the download code doesn't. Maybe.
I think I've seen the PlayStation Network cards that have Journey on the front. I think. Just it's a good opportunity. Like Microsoft could put out a card with more Halo on it. Like you go to the store and you see, hey, there's this thing for Halo 4. I remember playing that. And you just get it. Like people wouldn't necessarily even know what it is, but
right.
They see Halo 4, they want to buy it.
Well, I know they have like branded cards like that, but it sounds like from what you're talking about, they actually have cards where you can actually download the game or whatever, which I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's too out of the ordinary. I guess it's just me.
I'm just saying that's why I think it's going to be $20 exactly. Because it's just going to be a 1,600 Microsoft Point card with Sarah Palmer on the front. If you purchase this, you can buy Spartan Ops Season 2 or whatever.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
See what I'm saying?
Now I'm connecting the dots. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying
brain finally connected. All right. Got it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I wasn't,
okay.
I was being very
it wasn't you
there anyway. I didn't know any of my stuff going in, but
No, I got it now. I'm good. I'm good. All right. Last one comes from RJ Diaz. He writes in, "Hey Podtacular, I hope you guys saw the Majestic map pack Vidoc and the gameplay footage because these maps are amazing. I love small size maps because then I can dominate with the shotgun and not have to worry about getting my head blown off by a troll sniper up in the tree somewhere. I can't wait to see Landfall in person, and I also want to find the Mystic Halo 4 Hornet that was spotted on Landfall. I hope I don't mess with the flow of the podcast. If you guys write in, you're not messing with the flow of the podcast. You don't need to apologize for anything, really. Keep on fragging the herbs on harvest. The herbs on harvest.
Yes, harvest herbs.
Are there herbs on harvest? I know there's like flowers and stuff, but I didn't really look.
Are there any herbaceous flowers?
Maybe. I didn't take a look at all the fine details of the flora and the fauna there, so yeah. We have one more submission. You want to take that, Brent?
We have another submission from Paul McGeary. I have a submission. Do you think that it's okay to have the Halo canon be continued into something you must have a gold account to see? I would buy a Season 2 Spartan Ops, but I feel bad for those.
Personally, they've already said that in order to play Spartan Ops, you have to have Xbox Live Gold. That's not going to change.
Yep. You're going to have Xbox Live Gold to do basically anything on Xbox from here on out. Like, seriously, you can't use Netflix if you don't have Gold. You can't use, the browser on your Xbox 360 without Gold, which is messed up. I don't understand why you would lock Internet Explorer behind a paywall.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense on why you can't use Internet Explorer with the silver account or with no. Let me take that back. Well, I would hesitate to say be able to use Internet Explorer just signed into an Xbox without being signed into an Xbox Live account. I don't see why you can't do that. Although, I mean, obviously you have to be able to download the app, but you can download the app you should be able to download the app with a free account. So yeah, it goes back to the question: why do you need a gold account in order to browse the internet? If you're trying to make this an all-in-one platform, people are just going to go and use their PCs instead. If you want people to use the Xbox or Internet Explorer, then make the Internet Explorer available to be used on silver accounts or local accounts.
Like, how many people with silver accounts got on their 360, downloaded Internet Explorer, and it said, you need to have a gold account to use Internet Explorer. And they're like, man, I am going to shell out $60 right here and now to use Internet Explorer on my 360.
Probably less than 1%.
Probably less than 1.
I just said, yeah.
What I'm saying, 1% of users is way more than the one who probably actually did.
I said less than 1. It's probably more than less than
1%.
Yeah, less than 1%. Yeah. Anyways, no one in the right mind would pay $60 just in order to be able to use Internet Explorer.
No, I mean it's not. It's an okay browser. It's better than the PS3 browser, but it's it's not a good internet experience.
Can't do Flash.
No, you can do YouTube videos.
Which half the websites run Flash, and you can't download stuff off the browser. Like, you can't download music or movies or anything. It's literally just a browser. You
can't save anything.
Half of the internet functionality is gone.
It's like every reason you enjoy the internet, it's like they stripped that away.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, you better pay it, if you're not paying for gold, you can't get access to this amazing experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I get frustrated with Xbox Live Gold. I don't know why I keep bringing it up. It's just recently all of the thought about the next-gen consoles has me thinking about the future of console gaming.
Uh-huh.
And right now, the Xbox Live Gold is only set to get more expensive over time. Like,
I don't see why it needs to get more expensive. It's fine where it is, really.
Because right now, there's nobody who's lapsing on their Xbox Live Gold subscription. I mean, right now they are because it's the very end of the console cycle. But as soon as the next Xbox comes around, there's going to be tons and tons of people renewing their subscriptions. Or, they might have been lapsed for a while and they're getting new ones. When you get that kind of money rolling in, they have no reason. I mean, the year after Xbox 720 comes out, well, now you got to pay $70 a year,
I want to know how many of those are actually going and buying the discounted cards, like from Amazon, and whenever eBay does their things, Tiger Direct does their things, Dell does their things, so the specials where it's like $30 or $40 instead. Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I wait for those sales to come around because they come up yearly, every year, where you can get live for half the price. And it's like, okay, I buy my bulk and I'm done. That's when I get my live. So
If you can find it for super cheap, you just buy as many of those as you can.
Yeah, like I bought 3. I bought 3 for $30 a pop.
Term. Yeah.
So our question of the week this week is going to be, what in all the Halo franchises is your most memorable or your favorite DLC map? Since we have the Majestic map pack coming out soon, I figured that would be a pretty good question for people to kind of dig back into their memories and think, what was a good DLC map? So take that back with you. Let us know what you think for next week's update. This question will be answered on not next podcast, which is going to be the Majestic map pack review, but the one afterwards. So when we do our next bulletin update, we will we will look at that question there and answer it ourselves. So again, the question is going to be, what DLC map pack is your most favorite or not map pack. What DLC map is your most memorable or most favorite out of all the Halo franchise? Excluding Halo Wars. Excluding Halo Wars. All the first person shooter ones. Let me make that clarification. All of the first person shooter ones. Not
I thought
Halo
you were
Wars.
going to say excluding Halo 2. I was like, oh man. Like
No.
What?
And no, Halo Custom Edition does not count. Sorry. All official DLC stuff.
Yep.
All right. That wraps up our show, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, you can check us out on our website, podtacular.com. And if you have something that you want to ask us on the show, or if you want to answer the question of the week, or tell us anything else Halo 4 related, you can send us a submission using the big green button on the homepage, or you can send us an email directly to submissions@podtacular.com. We also have a voicemail that you can leave a message. That is at 240-200-HALO. That's 240-200-4256. Try to keep it under 2 minutes. A minute and a half is a good target to hit with your message. You can also check us out on Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, Zune, YouTube, all those good places. So make sure you hit up the homepage. There's links to all those sites that you can go to and check us out. We also have our Monday Night Matchmaking that happens every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. In the next week or two, we will be starting our Wacky Wednesdays. This is going to be our customs night, and we're going to have a community member who I don't think he's been on the show before, but we've kind of done stuff with him in the past. It's Insane54. Some of you guys may know him. He has a new website up now called Halo Customs, and we're going to have him on the show to kind of talk about the custom scene in Halo 4, what big custom items are out there now, what the new fads are for Halo 4, and all that good stuff. And we will have him to kind of kick off our Wacky Wednesdays going on here. We are also going to be looking at doing a Halo 2 night. As you guys know, the Halo 2 lifespan is kind of on notice for being taken off the circuit for being able to do matchmaking and all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing Halo 2 Tuesdays. That's going to be the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month until Halo 4 gets doomed for sure, or unless they decide to bring it back, then we'll kind of dial back on that a little bit. So the first event of that is going to be on March 12th. That's about 3 weeks from now. A little less than that. So that's going to be our first Halo 2 Tuesday. We're also looking at doing some live broadcasts here coming up. So I think episode 50 we're going to, not episode 50, episode 350, we're going to be broadcasting our podcast live from there on out. So we will have some info for you on that on the website coming very soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and you can listen to us live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I think I covered everything. Brent, you have any last words before we leave?
Nope.
All right.
Said it all.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and keep on fragging those trucks.
Keep on throwing frags in Rumble Pit.